I've been fascinated with Iceland for quite some time, since the mid-1970s when I first visited the country aboard my father's ship, the Lindblad Explorer.
Iceland is unlike any country we've traveled to before. The geology, the culture, the bird life.
To see it in this huge expanse, it's amazing.
We found bowhead whales.
Oh, wow!
Iceland is ruggedly beautiful.
Look how lush and green it is.
It's like a pillow. It's like you're in a down bed.
We're in this beautiful tundra landscape.
Then you come across very golden velvet that seems to just be flowing down the top of this hill here.
Iceland is a land of contrast. You see harsh, rugged rock.
This is called moss campion.
You know, juxtaposed against these beautiful, tiny, delicate flowers.
Just a gorgeous place.
The point of it really is to understand Iceland in part through Icelanders' eyes. Musicians, scientists, people in the political spectrum, ordinary citizens, teachers. This is a country of very, very interesting and innovative people. To be able to visit Iceland and to visit and understand the beauty of this place in the company of these people is quite remarkable.
We are bringing music into expedition travel in a way that no company has ever done before. The Icelandic music scene is thriving. We've invited some of Iceland's top musicians to join us on the trip, and we've been having a great time. An impromptu concert, inspired, magical moment. Those are the kinds of experiences that we love to have on these trips.
You're looking at a culturally rich place.
Icelandic people, for me, have been so warm, so kind, so sincere.
And they're close. Iceland's just under 5 hours away from New York, and sometimes people forget that.
We can go as a family and really enjoy ourselves, but also learn as part of the experience.
I can't wait to bring a group of our friends from Iceland together with folks, adults and kids alike, as we delve into this unique country, these unique people, and this unique connection to nature.
Welcome to the National Geographic Explorer as we follow the footsteps of the Vikings. This trip is an incredible mix between natural and cultural history. Not only we will see grand ice fields, but also visit small villages which have very little contact with the outside world.
This is amazing. Too beautiful to explain.
First time I've ever seen breaking ice. Waking up in the morning, this was probably the most phenomenal thing I've ever seen. This is amazing.
It's a beautiful day here in Greenland. Lots of people in shorts like myself and enjoying the sunshine and the beautiful scenery. Couldn't ask for a better day.
It's magnificent. We have great light, wonderful reflections, and lots of bird life.
We have been on the trail of the Vikings on this voyage, and behind me some physical evidence of the early Norse settlers.
The history is fantastic. I mean, it's pretty incredible. They knew how to pick the right spot, I would say.
I cannot believe I'm in the Arctic. I cannot believe that expedition like this is possible, and it is just an absolute pleasure to be here. You have made my life absolutely amazing these last days.
Today we are doing a geology tour in the northern part of Iceland. As a geologist, this is a very exciting place to visit. We are going to places where we still see Iceland forming.
This is a remarkable place to come to see all types of geologic features. It's watching nature create and change the environment that we live in. And it's sort of like going to the Natural History Museum, except everything is, instead of being static and dead, it's alive and still changing. It was one of the things that really drove us to do this trip, to see Iceland, which is sort of like a laboratory of geologic processes going on, not just in the past, but to this day, that you can see it happening.
Iceland really is the land of fire and ice. We are traveling through landscapes that were formed by volcanic activity and then carved by glaciers. So this has just been a great opportunity to explore the geology of Iceland.
Well, this is an exciting visit to a place that Lindblad have never been to before. There is an Arctic henge in construction here at this small Icelandic town, and we're going to explore that photographically this morning. We've got here nice and early in the day. The light is really interesting. Lots of beautiful lupin flowers in the foreground. So we're going to go and explore this beautiful area now with our cameras and learn a bit more about this Arctic henge.
Arctic henge is a project which has been in preparation and ongoing for the last 10 years. It's here in Reykjavik, close to the Arctic Circle. About 10 years ago, my guy here who came up with an idea to play with the lights, both the sun and the midnight sun and also the northern lights, like varies after seasons. So far we have these 4 main gateways and the middle piece. What we have still to work on is 4 sculptures which comes here in between. Polar Bender, Ball of Rays, Altar of Fire and Water, and Throne of Sun. And then comes a circle of around it, like a walls. And that's important because that is part of the play of shadows and lights. So then came up idea to combine this with some old Nordic stories about dwarves, which are written about in Snorra Edda and Völuspá, and we are planning to finish this in the next few years.
I think it's really impressive that such a small village was able to come together to create something like this. I'm impressed because my husband does rock work with smaller boulders, and to think of moving all this, cutting it down at the quarry and bringing it up this hill and getting it in place, I was trying to picture how they did that.
Exactly. It must be quite a feat.
Thank you very much for visiting, and I'm looking forward to see you in next years, and I welcome you all.
This is just amazing.
One of the great views of the world, I would say.
Everyone should travel
because it makes you a better person.
So we got 40% of the world's population of razorbills nesting here on the cliffs.
Not only is Iceland very photogenic, it's also extremely interesting geologically speaking.
Sweet and savory a little bit, like you said, like salted caramel. Yeah, really good.
You can learn a lot about a place by paying attention to the details, whether that's zooming in with your camera or asking questions of somebody that you meet. It's about getting in close that you learn to make a place special.
Looks like I'm getting a helmet and some boots and a snowsuit.
Everything has been an incredibly exhilarating wow experience.
There you go.
That's incredible. I've never been this close to puffins before. I've seen a lot of puffins, but never this close.
Kind of reminds you of a big chocolate bath.
It was a good hike. I don't know what we did, 500 vertical feet?
To see how different people live.
What National Geographic and Lindblad have in common, they have a common vision and a common mission.
I think it is mind-opening to come to places like this.
Well, we're in the Krafla volcanic system, which is in the Mývatn district of northern Iceland. And that's one of 30 active volcanic systems here in Iceland. The geology in Iceland is very exciting. Today we're on a tuff cone or tuff ring, which is a place where magma, rising magma, intercepted groundwater or lake water and formed a bunch of steam explosions, one after the other, just poof, 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 sending out a base surge of ash, and it built this tuff ring here.
I have enjoyed it because volcanic stuff is really neat. We've seen some neat volcanoes around the world, and this is very good.
I'm looking out to the distance and one after the next, indicating where the tectonic plates are pulling apart. And I teach plate tectonics, and I've talked about this for years, but to actually have my feet on the areas where that's happening has been a lot of fun.
Well, today we've seen a big geothermal area with a lot of brown and yellow dirt with very little growing on it that was formed from hydrothermal alteration with acidic steam and water coming onto that land and altering it geothermally. There's still a lot of steam coming up because here is where rain and snow water percolate into the ground, go down where it's very, very hot, heat up, pick up some minerals from the rocks down there, and then come back up as steam, and also just gas bubbles that form in mud pots. You see them bubbling there. And also some places depositing sulfur, pure sulfur, that's sulfurous gases come out, and when they hit the cold air it deposits sulfur right there.
The sulfur is a little bit distracting. But it's interesting how that one over there is the one that is emitting the main sulfur smell. The rest of these, it's pretty subtle. So anyway, it's been a gorgeous tour. We're really enjoying it.
It's fun to go on a geology field trip or a geology expedition because it's really sort of a CSI, a crime scene investigation. We're looking at the landscape, looking around at the clues that we see around us, and trying to piece together, puzzle together this story of how this landscape came to be.